Now, let me ask you something. How strong is the spiritual connection in your marriage between you and your spouse? Is it thriving? Is it struggling? Or mainly surviving? Or is it even non-existent? See, a marriage without spiritual connection is like a house. It's just like a beautiful house, but without a solid foundation. And no matter how beautiful that house is, it might look very fine on the outside. Your marriage might look so beautiful on the outside, and people say, "Oh, you guys look so cool together." But the moment a storm hits, boom, cracks start showing. Things start falling apart. But I have a good news for you. And no matter where you are right now, no matter what level you are right now, you and your spouse can build a rock solid spiritual foundation together. And today, I'm going to be giving you 3 simple, powerful ways to do it. So even when life feels, when life is really crazily busy, and even if no matter how busy your schedule is, even if you're not even on the same page with you're not even on the same page with your spouse spiritually, even if you don't know where to start, these powerful ways will be very helpful to you. So let's get into it. Now, every marriage faces challenges, be it financial stress, external pressures, even constant misunderstandings. But the difference between couples who crumble under pressure and those who come out stronger, it's often comes down to one thing: their spiritual foundation. Now imagine a couple facing a tough financial decision. Maybe one of them wants to save, another one wants to spend. Without a strong spiritual alignment, it turns into a fight. Things easily turns into a fight. But when they seek God together, they find wisdom, they find strength, they find unity and peace in each of their decision-making process. When God is at the center, everything else, and when I say everything else falls into place. Now I'm going to be talking about 3 different ways to grow spiritually as a couple. These ways have helped me in my journey in marriage so far. First, pray together. Even if it's just for a short time, even if it's just for a minute together. Let's be real, I know sometimes praying together feels really awkward at first, especially if you've not been doing it. But prayer is not about sounding perfect. It's about inviting God into your relationship. It's about inviting God into your marriage. But start small. I would say if you've not been doing it, start small. Hold hands with your partner, even if it's for 30 seconds or for a minute. Start by thanking God. Lord, I thank you for today. Help us love you more. Help us love you more. Keep us till tomorrow. For example, I've heard about couples who pray together before meals. That's another time to pray. Look for a safe space. Express your gratitude. Share your heart. Sometimes even when you're having a tough decision to make, hold your hands and pray. Second, read a scripture and discuss it. No, sometimes you don't even have to do a deep Bible study every night. Sometimes it's just about talking about just one verse that can spark a powerful conversation. Sometimes, possibly when you go to church, just talk about what was preached that day. You could pick a short devotional and read a single verse and ask your partner or your spouse, how can we apply this into our marriage? I read about this. What do you think about it? For example, in the book of Proverbs chapter 15 verse 1, it says, a gentle answer turns away wrath. Imagine how different, arguments would be if both of you practiced this right in your marriage and bring the scripture to place and say, how can we apply this into our marriage? Now the third one is worship and serve God together. Attend the church together. Listen to worship music. Find ways to serve as a couple. When you worship together, it shifts the atmosphere in your home. It brings about peace. It brings about unity, about spiritual alignment. You both are in the same space. Do you understand? You play worship music when you're home or when you're doing your house chores. It completely changes the mood in your home. Now, someone might be asking me, what do I do if my spouse or if my husband, if my wife is not on the same spiritual level with me? Yes, that's a very good question. Sometimes you're on this level and maybe you have an unbelieving spouse or someone who is not on the same level with you. You might be growing spiritually, but your spouse is not as interested. That's okay. First thing I would say is by leading by example. Lead by example, not by pressure. Sometimes when you nag too much about this, it gets the other person really put off. I would say you should start with, reading something. Possibly when you read the scripture, you can just say, oh, I read something today and it really encouraged me. You share about a verse with your spouse and say, oh, this really encouraged me. I think this is what I gathered from it. What do you think? And you can pray together, even if it's just for 1 week. I would say take baby steps. Don't start massively. Don't start by, starting with a video or a whole day. Start in bits. Take baby steps, depending on the level your spouse is at. Sometimes I've heard of couples who have unbelieving spouses, and just by, taking steps, baby steps, before you know it, their spouses started asking them questions about their faith. Now, what's the challenge in this video? What you should get out with this video? I think you should pick out one of these 3 habits I just shared. Try it today. Try attending a church or, reading the Bible with your spouse or sharing a verse with them. Try praying together with them wherever. Even if you're walking on the road, hold their hand and pray and let me know, what do you think about it? Or which of these habits do you normally do? If you're watching this video till this time, let me know in the comments. Which of these do you do with your spouse? You pray together, you read the Bible together, or you go to church together. Remember, a spiritually strong marriage, it doesn't happen by accident. It doesn't happen by chance. It's built with daily steps, intentionally, purposefully. What's one thing that have helped you and your spouse grow spiritually together? Please share with me. Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear you. And if you've been watching my videos, please, I want to know where you're watching from. I want to know anything you've picked from any of the videos. It's really nice to read from you. Let me know in the comments if you watch this video. And I know that some of my viewers or some of my subscribers watch from the TV. I know it's definitely most of the time very impossible for you to comment, but I'd like to hear from you, so I'll know if I keep making videos here. Until I see you on the next video, thank you for watching always.